Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to the rest of our stories. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Yesem Wike, says no city can develop without a critical road network, stressing that roads remain key to opening up businesses and attracting investment. The minister stated this on October 3rd, 2025, during the flag-off ceremony of the construction of Transit Way Number 2, designed to connect the central area to Wuse districts with 2 bridges. He encouraged his team to remain diligent in order to meet their set targets.
And I want to commend our elder statesman for taking the bold shape to start the construction of that road from that side. And when I came, I said, these are citizens who mean well for our people. After all, he was not going to be the only person that will use that road. So I told the executive secretary, FCD, we'll take it over from there and then link up to Wuse with 2 bridges. I'm happy to the glory of God. We're here today to flag it off. No development in any city without good network of roads. When all the cities are linked with good network of roads, then you talk about that city to becoming a modern city. Then you talk about development in that city. Road infrastructure attracts investment. We have one of our investors from Dubai, who, of course, trying to build Abuja City Walk. If the infrastructures are not there, they won't come. But because they know and they saw the infrastructure revolution in Abuja, they said we are going to replicate the Dubai City Walk and want to have Abuja City Walk.
Wike also revealed that more than 45 schools would be rehabilitated shortly after the completion of ongoing project flag-off programs, while the health sector will be the next priority.
We are going to start again to total rehabilitation of not less than 40 schools after this road infrastructure. That, of course, will add to not less than 70 schools that are ongoing. Almost 45 have been completed and well finished. And then I said again, we begin to look into the issue of health. I believe those who are in charge of health must sit up to know that time waits for nobody. If you don't know how to be athletic to meet up, go and ask those who know how to meet up with the speed I work with. Go and meet the ESFCD, go and meet the coordinator of SCD. They will tell you how to meet up with me. It's very key. Because, like I said, no sector will be left. By the directive of Mr. President, every sector must be touched. And it is for those of you who are primarily in charge that will kickstart it and let us believe that you are serious.
In his address, the Executive Secretary of the Federal Capital Development Authority, Engineer, gave an overview of the project.
The rail mode and bus rapid transport network, designed to link the city center with sector centers along the development corridors as well as to the satellite towns. and thus reduce reliance on private cars. The master plan provides two major transitway corridors in the city. Transitway N2, where we are, N12, which is closer to the central area, just by the Eagle Square, in the northern flank of the city. And it has its mirrors in the southern part, which are also called S2 and S12 in the southern flank. Your Excellency, the transitway system provides for rail lines sandwiched between two carriageways to provide mass transport system to both rail and bus system in the city. This project marks the first segment of transitways to be embarked upon by the city administration, including the river bridges over River Whooper to connect the central business district to the Wuse district. The project will also address the issue of flooding in this section of the river, and it will further enhance general traffic circulation between the central area and Wuse area, serving as a catalyst for improved economic activity.
Adamawa State Police Command has nabbed 72 suspects in the last 3 months and charged 57 to court. The command said Friday that it is still investigating 15 others preparatory to being charged. The State Commissioner of Police, Takumbo Morris, briefing newsmen at the State Police headquarters in Yola, listed the offenses for which the arrests were made as kidnapping, 9 cases, armed robbery 7 cases, culpable homicide 22, rape and sexual offenses 18, theft 9, Sheila Boys gangsterism 4, and abductions 3 cases. The police commissioner recalled a particularly historic case of the abduction of 13 children by child traffickers who took the children to Anambra State, where they were said to sold to a receiver. The commissioner, who recalled that the children were rescued and brought back to Adamawa, said Adamawa State, where they were reunited with their families, added that the 2 women found to be implicated were arrested and are currently being prosecuted. He disclosed that for the 3 months under review, the Adamawa State Command recovered 7 vehicles and 25 rosewood cows. Independent National Electoral Commission has affirmed Honorable Shehu Hosseini, popularly known as Wazirin Kucheri, as the authentic chairman of the Action Alliance in Zamfara State. The confirmation followed the resolution of a protracted leadership tussle within the party, which had lasted for more than a year. Speaking in Gusau on Friday, Husseini confirms the development, noting that the Commission's decision aligns with the court ruling that recognized the executives under the party's national chairman, Barrister Adekunle Omaje. The resolution, observers say, ends a month of internal division that had weakened the party structure in Zamfara. Olusegun Obasanjo on Friday said Nigerians must begin to ask the necessary questions to be able to deal with the Boko Haram menace, which he said had become a monster. While decrying the lingering insurgency in the country, he said that the Boko Haram insurgency was virtually part of the lives of Nigerians. Obasanjo spoke at the unveiling of the book Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum, authored by a former Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Irabo, in Abuja. He therefore called for more critical discussions to prefer solutions to the Boko Haram menace in Nigeria. Obasanjo, however, said that the former CDS showed courage by sharing his insider experience in the war against terrorism in the book For Posterity. Also in attendance at the event are former President Goodluck Jonathan, service chiefs, former and 7 governors and clerics. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has described the Chibok girls' abduction as a scar that will remain with him till death. Looking back to the 2014 abduction of 276 schoolgirls from Chibok in Borno State, Jonathan said the incident left an indelible mark and will continue to haunt him. The former president spoke during the public presentation of Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum, a memoir by former Chief of Defense Staff General Loki Irabo on Friday. He commended the former CDS, stressing that he was a soldier who stood for truth and never played politics with security. The abduction of the schoolgirl sparked a global outrage, leading to the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Ayodele Olawande, has warned youths against irregular migration, enumerating the inherent dangers associated with it. Olawande gave the warning during a campaign and advocacy program on the effects of irregular migration for youths in the southern zones held in Abeokuta on Friday. The minister, represented by the Director in charge of Migration and Climate Change, Mrs. Grace Lilia, said that migration in its legal and regulated form remains a natural part of human development. He explained that irregular migration, which occurs outside legal frameworks and regulatory norms of countries, presents a significant risk to lives, communities, and national development. Olawande stressed that the federal government remained committed to reversing the trend. He said that the ministry, in collaboration with key MDAs and development partners, has rolled out several strategic empowerment and intervention programs for youths. The minister explained that the programs were designed to empower Nigerian youths with the skills, resources, and support systems they need to thrive and contribute meaningfully to national development. He described the youth as one of the greatest assets that any nation could have, saying they represented the greatest investment of the country's sustainable development. Federal High Court sitting in Warri, Delta State, has issued an order directing the Niger Police Force and Inspector General of Police to maintain the status quo in the ongoing case concerning the tinted glass permit. Delivering the interim order, the court directed the police authorities to respect judicial processes pending further proceedings in the matter. The court issued the interim order as hearing opened in suits instituted by legal practitioner John Aikpokpo Martins against the Inspector General of Police and the Nigeria Police Force. The lawyer, John Aikpokpo Martins, approached the court to challenge the legality of the new tinted permit enforcement. Senior Advocate Kunle Edu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who led the legal team for the petitioner, confirmed the developments to journalists and noted that the directive is a major step in ensuring that the rule of law is upheld while the substantive issues in the case are being determined. Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has confirmed receiving a petition demanding a probe into the handling of Rivers State federal allocations by the state's former sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired. The petition, filed by civil rights activist and lawyer Deji Adeyanju, came days after Ibas ended his administration of the state on September 18. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja, ICPC spokesperson Demola Bakari confirmed the receipt of the petition, noting that it had been forwarded to the Commission's legal department for review. Adeyanju's September 23, 2025 petition was titled Petition for the Investigation into the Financial Expenditure of Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, former sole administrator of Rivers State. The activist urged the ICPC to urgently investigate Ibas's financial activities during his administration between March 18 and September 17, 2025. Quoting official data from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Adeyanju claimed that Rivers State, under Ibas's control, received a total of 283.3 billion naira, excluding internally generated revenue. He explained that the figure comprised 36.6 billion naira in local government allocations for January and February 2025, which had previously been withheld, and 246.7 billion naira in state and local government allocations between March and June 2025. Despite these massive inflows, Adeyanju alleged that there was little or no evidence of tangible developments carried out by the administration. Political economist Pat Utomi said that political parties in Nigeria have lost their voices, stressing that the only strong opposition to the federal government are a few voices on social media. Otomi made the statement at the David Oladipo Leadership Roundtable themed Nigeria and opposition politics in Lagos. He lamented that most opposition parties had lost their voices due to fear of persecution and internal crisis. He faulted the silence of opposition parties on electoral reforms and constitutional violations. On his part, the convener, Dr. David Oladipo, said Nigeria was failing to get value for democracy because opposition parties had become too weak to provide viable alternatives to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. He argued that opposition parties had abandoned rigorous intellectual work, reducing their relevance in governance debates. And now to our business news. President Bola Tinubu is scheduled to inaugurate the $400 million Otati Kipo onshore crude oil export terminal in River State on October 8, the first new crude export facility to be built in Nigeria in over 50 years. The facility, developed by Green Energy International Limited, operators of the Otakibo field in OML 11 Ikuru Town, Andoni local government area of River State, is the first wholly indigenous onshore terminal built in Nigeria. The last such facility, the Focados Terminal, was commissioned in 1971. The inauguration is expected to attract top government officials, including the Minister of State of Petroleum, Oil, Senator Henikin Lokobiri, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and key stakeholders across the oil and gas sector. According to a statement signed by Jail's Executive Director of Legal and Corporate Services, Olusegun Ilori, on Thursday, the terminal aligns with President Tinubu's drive to boost crude oil production and address Nigeria's long-standing evacuation challenges. The Otakikbo terminal is expected to serve as a lifeline to more than 40 stranded oil fields by providing a reliable evacuation outlet, potentially unlocking millions of barrels of crude previously trapped on the ground. House of Representatives Committee on Safety, Standards and Regulations has commended the Niger Delta Power Holding Company for upholding high safety standards at the Calabar Power Plant in Odukbami, Cross River State. The committee gave the commendation after an on-the-spot assessment of the 565 megawatt facility, noting significant improvements since its last visit in 2018. Chairman of the committee, Honorable David Zacharias, said the inspection was aimed at ensuring that Nigerians work in safe environments and enjoy long, healthy lives. He praised the staff for maintaining the plant, stressing that the health and safety of workers in the power sector are critical to both government and the economy. He, however, noted that the visit was not only to commend but also to highlight areas requiring improvement. Specifically, the committee called for improvements in the work environments for staff, including better lighting, rest areas for shift workers, and adequate seating in offices. And to our international news. Sarah Molali was on Friday named the new Archbishop of Canterbury, becoming the first woman to lead the Church of England, which can trace its origins to the Roman Empire and the global Anglican community. Her nomination by a committee tasked with finding a successor to Justin Welby, who stepped down earlier this year over an abuse scandal, has been approved by King Charles III, the UK government said. The Church of England is the mother church of global Anglicanism. Mulali, 63, becomes the church's 106th Archbishop of Canterbury, the first having been appointed in the late 6th century. In a statement, the former nurse acknowledged the huge responsibility of her new role, but said she feels a sense of peace and trust in God to carry me. Welby resigned after a report found the Church of England had covered up a 1970s serial abuse case, and that he failed to report the abuses to authorities when they came to his attention in 2013. According to the independent probe, John Smith, a lawyer who organized evangelical summer camps in the 1970s and 1980s, was responsible for the abuse of as many of 130 boys and young men. Prime Minister Keir Starmer welcomes the appointment of the first woman to hold the role. President Donald Trump has declared that the United States is engaged in armed conflict with drug cartels. His administration said in a notice sent to Congress after recent strikes on both of Venezuela. The letter, a copy of which was obtained by newsmen on Thursday, is designed as a legal justification for at least 3 recent strikes in international waters that have killed at least 14 people. The Trump administration has deployed several military vessels to the Caribbean Sea, the counter-drug smugglers, amid mounting tensions with Venezuela's leftist president, Nicolas Maduro. The notice also describes suspected smugglers as unlawful combatants. The recent U.S. strikes targeted boats allegedly loaded with drugs off the coast of Venezuela, but legal experts have raised doubts about the legality of Washington's actions. A White House official said the note was sent to Congress after one of the strikes on September 15, adding that it was legally mandated to do so after attack involving the U.S. military. Tensions have mounted over the strikes and the U.S. naval buildup. A government statement, meanwhile, accused the United States of flouting international law and jeopardizing civil aviation in the Caribbean Sea. Trump last month dispatched 10 F-35 aircraft to Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory in the Caribbean, as part of the biggest military deployment in the area in over 3 decades. And now to our sports news. Super Eagles coach Eric Schell on Friday released a 23-man list of players to execute the October World Cup qualifying games against Lesotho and Benin Republic, with head coach Eric Schell handing Sevilla striker Akko Adams a maiden call-up. Captain William Troost Ekong headlines the team, while Semi Ajayi, Terry Murphy, Al-Hassan Yusuf and Olakunle Olusegun all returned after spells away from the national side. Stanley Nwabali retains his place as first-choice goalkeeper, supported by Amas Obasoje and Adebayo Adeleye. With Felix Ago, Bruno Oyemichi, Bright Osai, Benjamin Frederick and Calvin Bassey are drafted into defense. In midfield, Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka and Al-Hassan Yusuf provides Shell with both experience and energy. Nigeria's forward line is led by Victor Osimhen and also features Ade Mola Lukman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Terem Murphy, Cyril Desses, Tolu Arokodare, the returning Olakunle Olusegun and Devont Adams. The announcement comes at a critical juncture in Group C of the African qualifiers. Nigeria's hopes of reaching the World Cup had appeared to be slipping away after 5 draws in 8 matches. But FIFA's recent sanction against South Africa has dramatically altered the picture. And now to our entertainment news. Nigerian music icon Innocent Idibia, popularly known as Tubaba, has debunked viral reports suggesting he was arrested in London after a supposed altercation with his wife, Natasha Idibia. In a video shared on social media, the award-winning singer clarified that his failure to appear at a planned UK tour stop on October 2, 2025 was due to a sudden health issue, not a domestic dispute. Tubaba, in an Instagram post, extended gratitude to fans who attended the show despite his absence, assuring them of future performances. Addressing the widespread rumor, the singer criticized those spreading unverified claims, stressing the importance of fact-checking before sharing information. Taylor Swift on Friday dropped her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, a collection of bouncy pop songs about love, marriage, and success, and also score settling. The 35-year-old artist reunited with Swedish hitmakers Max Martin and Shellback for the hotly anticipated album, and their influence is clear in the driving beats and catchy hooks. The megastar described the album as a self-portrait and thanked Martin and Shellback, adding, "If you thought the big show was wild, perhaps you should come and take a look behind the curtain." The album's release comes with a special release party event in movie theaters all weekend, including the premiere of the video for lead single The Fate of Ophelia. Sure to be attended by legions of fans in Swift's signature color, this time around orange. Elated fans, mainly dressed in orange, packed into a Melbourne theatre on Friday to be among the first jive to the album at one of the dozens of listening events across the region. Showgirl is the most perceived album ever on the Spotify streaming platform, breaking the record set last year by Swift's previous album, The Tortured Poets Department. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Rivers Police arrest officer, student over cultism at Uniport. ICPC reviews petition against ex-Rivers Solar Administrator Ibas. Court orders police to maintain status quo on tinted permits. Sesame boasts Nigerian non-oil exports to $1.7 billion first quarter. Church of England names Mulali first woman Archbishop of Canterbury. Shell unveils squad for decisive World Cup qualifiers. Two-Face denies being arrested in London for assault. I am Francis Neka. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, now X at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.